Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Special thanks to our sponsors of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, Realistic Replicas by Brian. For more information, go to realistic.replicas.com. And the Aging Better Network with Christine Smith. For more information, go to agingbetternetwork.com. And now your host, Russ and Scott. Ta-da!
Now your host,
Here we are. That's it. I introduce us. There
Hey,
we go.
It's welcome to spring.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to spring. And everybody, welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. I mean, what a great way to start spring, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's I said the days are just going to get brighter and longer and more light and all that
It's
great
amazing.
stuff. Just it is spring's my favorite time of year.
Oh my goodness.
I love the spring.
I've loved it. And it's been interesting because Oregon has been having this whole debate over changing to just one single time and not making the days longer, or staying on just making the days longer. They can't make up their mind. But right now, we've made the daylight longer, which is great. And it is spring. And I'm loving the sunshine we've been having, right, Scott?
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. And I just want to say we have been having a lot of fun because we have a new show. And
Yes.
we just finished episode 3.
Episode 3. I know, it's amazing how quickly it goes. We've already done 3 episodes, brand new show. And what's amazing about The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott, we are using this to encourage all of you watching, no matter where you're at in the world, to focus on local, think locally, act globally, right? We act globally and we're all together around the world, but we can't forget our local community. And our show, focused on believers in business, is
Mhm.
based out of the Willamette Valley, and really local to us is Oregon, Southwest Washington. But we are just having an amazing time highlighting people that not only are doing amazing things in business, but have a strong faith, believers in
Mhm.
God, that are moving forward and doing great things. And it's been so much fun. Our first 3 guests have been amazing, Scott.
You know, all their stories are inspirational, and what I love about it is that people get to examine their own lives and think, "Yeah, I may not be like Mike Adams, uh, but you know what? I'm doing a lot of great things too." Because people start thinking about their lives and how they're integrating their faith with their business and their
Yep.
family into the business and the faith with all 3 wrapped up together, and it really makes a difference.
The 3 in 1. There we go. And we
Mhm.
are no spiritual referencer, huh? Anyway, we are also broadcast live on KWIL Radio 790 AM. And that is
Not
part
quite
of,
live, but it is broadcast on
there you go.
790, 6 PM.
And
The audio plays there. Mhm.
there you go. That's right. And thank you for correcting me. And also promoted on Hope 107, which is the parent
Mhm.
station. 107.9 Hope Radio is amazing. And it's very exciting. Kermie is excited too. We're going to have him drop into The Experience Local here. And
Hey, we've got some book talk before we get to our guests.
yes,
And
go
so
for it.
tell us about what you've got.
Well, first off, just released my latest collaborative amazing book called Beyond Boundaries, Living in the Gray Zone. So thankful to CJ, Dr. Constance Leland, and Susanna for this amazing work and bringing together 20 some, I can't remember exactly how many, authors that from around the world that wrote. It became #1 on Amazon in several categories. It's an international bestseller again, and I'm just blessed to be part of it. They are making great things happening and plan for more. And because next show will be after this announcement. Coming up, one of our guests today, Mr. Tim Sohn. We got Shri and Tim on today, and Tim
Mhm.
is releasing Perspectives on Cancer Volume 2, which I also wrote a chapter in, which I'm super excited to be part of. So both of those are amazing. And Scott, what about you?
Yeah, I've got just released Networking for Students, and it's the perfect gift for that student in your life to give them an unfair advantage as they're looking for internships or letters of reference or jobs. Uh, Give them this book, this little tool. It's got some practical steps in there, uh, different than you're going to find if you just Google up how to network. You're going to find some really unique things in there, things that you actually do, how you actually approach people in networking events, groups, individuals, and all that. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that continuing to go out. We're going to be promoting it down in Texas
Ooh, that is
at the Texas Library Association conference with Liz Lawless. She's arranged a booth, and we've got a spot there. So both Christine and I will be there in middle of April, and we'll be doing some book signings there as well. So we're looking forward to that.
That is so amazing. Opportunity because of great relationships, great
Mhm.
community that we're part of. So thankful for that, Scott. And it's given us so many great opportunities to do things. So, but you know what? We got two amazing guests on.
Mhm.
And the first one we're going to bring on is our amazing co-host of the Experience Backstage, Live with Russ and Scott. And Shri, I mean, definitely makes us look better, right, Scott?
She is an expert in streaming video, and we've got so many tips from her that does, yeah, absolutely makes us better.
So drum roll, please. Brrr, the amazing Shri Mahabir. Woo!
Thank you so much for having me on. I love being part of the morning show on Wednesday on Instagram.
Well,
2
we are
years,
blessed.
2
Yeah, we're
years, Sri.
it's amazing. And we're blessed to have you, honestly. We have created such an awesome friendship, the three of us. And you know what? We have fun doing it together. And I
Mhm.
think this show, this little short show that we do every week on Instagram has really helped all of us to raise our visibility on Instagram, as well as just having a great time learning to collaborate together and learn from each other, right, Shri?
Absolutely, because there are times when we want to take a break, but we always show up for Wednesday morning and we share those tidbits. And I will say, like this year, I'm planning to take July and 2 weeks off in August, but I'll still be showing up on the live show to share some wisdom.
Yeah, that is so great. And I appreciate that. We both do so much. But hey, let's back up for just the one or two people that don't know you. Who is Shri Mahabar and what are you up to?
So I am Shri, and I am a video marketing producer where my team and I, because I have an agency, and we produce live streaming shows, podcasts. We also do social media management for medical, dental, and law practices. And we do all of the copywriting, the video, even go on site, record your content for you so you don't have to do it. And then we edit it and post it for you.
That is amazing. I mean, and how did you get started in doing all this? I mean, what was the catalyst that got you involved in video?
Well, it started in 2020 when I was like, how do I bring visibility to my business? And I saw Ed Milet and Lewis House and Gary Vee going live. And I was like, oh, how can I do this? And on Instagram, I saw my friend go live and I knew I could do it. And that's how it started. I brought on, and I still bring on entrepreneurs. Russ is going to be a guest. I have to book D. Scott onto my show, but that's how it all started, just interviewing entrepreneurs, giving them a spotlight. Many of them had never gone live, never did video, and the journey started there. But what I didn't know, is back in 2022, the importance of posting content. and how that draws people to come into your ecosystem, wanting to connect with you, wanting to even listen to what you have to say. Also, it helps you with topics.
Right. Yeah, I think that yeah, that's just amazing. Scott, go ahead. I'm monopolizing the conversation, Scott. Go.
Well, I'll just say it's been so much fun going live on Instagram. It's a, that's a different platform. And so when you started doing this on Instagram specifically, kind of what were your goals? What were you hoping to accomplish?
At the time, I wasn't really sure, but I knew I wanted to build a community. I knew I wanted to give a spotlight. I really wanted to give a voice to these entrepreneurs because they have a story. Our
Mm,
story is so powerful. And in order to do that, you had to do it on video. At the time on Instagram, it was really big to do carousels and do static posts, and it was less people doing video. So I was a pioneer at the time because I was one of the few that was consistently going live. Now, when you look at the landscape, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, even X, people are using video and people are going live because they understand its role. What I do find it funny is that many medical, dental, and law practices they know the importance, but they don't feel it's important to do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that you've gone from, I knew you really close to the beginning of you really getting moving on things, and you've just done amazing stuff. And so I'm just so blessed to be your friend and be part of that. Looking forward to being on your show. Thank you for being flexible with me and my life schedule. And so anyway, we're going to make that happen. But our next guest, Mr. Tim Sohn, has
and I'll
been
just say,
such a
Tim is the man behind the curtain. You may have heard that phrase and you wondered what it meant. Well, you're going to find out in just a moment.
okay. Well, we're just going to bring him in then. Here he is. Woo!
Thank you so much for having me, Russ. And Scott, Sri, hello. Gary says
Yes.
hello. We're all
Yes.
here. It's all good.
The name of my screaming goat is Tim, because that's where it came from.
I love it.
But,
I love it.
Tim, you know what? I mean, great example. And this is going to happen with Shri in the near future for me. I don't know if it's going to happen for Scott sooner, if they've got it arranged, but you and I were able to meet in person back in Scranton, Pennsylvania at the Perspectives on Cancer Live conference last year, which I'm blessed to come to and speak at this year, which is going to be great. But anyway, I'm so thankful for all of that. And it was so amazing to meet you and your wonderful, beautiful wife, Joy, and your girls and your family. So amazing. But let me back up and say, hey, Tim, for those couple people that don't know who you are, who the heck is Tim Sohn and what are you up to?
Thanks for having me, Russ. And yes, it was amazing to meet you in person. And I don't know how many selfies Russ takes, but they are a lot in person too. It's true. So I'm a lover of goats and other animals like rubber chickens and squeaking pickles and things like that. But besides that, I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a 17 plus year survivor of chronic myeloid leukemia, which is a blood cancer. I'm a live stream producer and do other social media work. And Shri, I love that you work with medical practices because I feel like there's such an opportunity there. Because like, what other business is it more important to like build that know, like, and trust factor with your patients or community, right? So I love that that's one of the areas you're focusing on.
Yeah. Shri, go ahead. I'm going to let you comment to that.
Oh, I was just commenting in the comments and I'm going to say thank you. While I cough over here struggling to talk.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, I think it is so important though in that area too, because I don't know many medical practices that have a really great social media presence that you actually go there and you feel like you know who you're going to see. And when you're like, for example, I'm a cancer survivor and like I want to know who I'm going to see, not just like, they got this award or that award, right? But more than that, like even a little bit about their personal life. Maybe we can relate in some kind of way.
And I find that a lot of doctors are scared to share personal
Mm,
stuff. So it's like having to ask certain questions. Some don't even want to do the trending voiceover and trending music, which is fine because we don't really promote that we get you viral, but we do promote that we can get you to get patients who, once they walk in the door, know who you are and they
yeah.
trust to work with you. And every doctor, no matter doctor, lawyer, dentist, everybody has a bad review. And I find that it's common. Why? Because somebody had an expectation that wasn't met. And I noticed that some practices get more bad reviews, like pain management, because the person is coming in there with the mindset, I just want drugs, I just want the pills, versus, hey, how about we look at alternative solutions to help you with your pain?
Yeah. No, that's so true. And, Tim, you've had a lot of experience with the whole cancer journey and all of that. And why don't you just give us a little spotlight on where you are now and then tell us about the new book?
Yes, thanks for asking. A little bit where I am now. Well, I said before I was diagnosed more than 17 years ago with chronic myeloid leukemia. Now I currently have cancer. Found out sometime less than a year ago, but I'm doing okay. I get migraine headaches. Don't think they're connected. But otherwise I'm rolling along. So yeah, the book Perspectives on Cancer Patient or Stories of Healing, Hope, and Resilience. I almost started to say the subtitle of the first volume of the book. It's going to be coming out March 25th, and it has the stories of 15 cancer patient survivors and supporters sharing their stories, including you, Mr. Russ Hedge. Woo, woo, woo. Absolutely. And yeah, we even have a couple who wrote a story together, Joe Tower and his wife Anna. Anna had leukemia, and so Joe is the caregiver and she was the patient, and they co-wrote a chapter together, which I think came out really great. So yeah, there's many different perspectives, which I think is really great because we can all learn from each other's perspectives, no matter what our connection to cancer is.
Yeah.
And it affects everybody.
Yeah.
It's you personally, a family member, a friend. It's what, 1 in 4, I think, is what I see, is what I've heard.
A lot. It's a lot.
So it affects everybody to some degree, and to have those stories, to be able to get some inspiration, to know you're not alone, and but also to get those practical tips on how to deal with this, whether you're the caregiver, as in Joe's case, or I don't know. These are just, it's helpful. It's very helpful to share these stories.
For sure. And I love that you said, Scott, that you're not alone, and that's one of the reasons that I created these books, is to let people know they're not alone, and also to encourage people to share their stories when they're ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I love that too. Letting people do it in their own timing and not forcing things, when you're really good about that, Tim. But also giving them a safe place, right? And you have that show, Perspectives on Cancer, every week too. When's that? The live stream?
The live stream is every Wednesday at 8:00 Eastern time. So we have a show tonight. And yeah, it's just a really awesome community of people who come together and support each other. And we have a guest every week that shares their story, patient, survivor, or supporter. And yeah, it's all about letting others know they're not alone, and sharing our stories, because when we share our stories, we will relate to parts of people's stories. We'll learn from each other, and we'll show up to support each other.
I
There you
have a
go.
question. I mean, we hear the story of the survivor, but what about the caretakers?
Yeah.
It's really difficult. Like my mom is the caretaker of my father, but we
Mhm.
decided to put him into, at this point, he needs more support. And so he's in a nursing home. But the caretakers, it's really hard and they feel really alone, and I always, wondered, have you ever had any of the caretakers of a cancer survivor come on and share what they went through and what they had to overcome as well?
Yeah, we definitely have. We include caregivers as well. Um, Emily Harmon, who you guys know, she's been on the show, and she also spoke at the in-person Showing Up event. Um, Joe Tower, who I mentioned before, he's the caregiver to Anna. Pamela Formica, she's part of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. She was caregiver to her son who died at age 16 years old from leukemia. So yeah, we definitely have the caregiver's perspective as well, because I think it's so important to have those different perspectives so we'll never completely understand the other perspective or role, but we can try our best. We can learn from each other, and through communication, we can do our best to understand each other the best as we can and support
And
each
what
other.
about fundraising? You've been involved in some fundraising. Share about that.
Yeah, I've been involved in a number of fundraisers. In 2022, I was a candidate for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's, at the time it was called Man and Woman of the Year philanthropic competition. Say that 10 times in a row. In that, it was a 24-hour live stream fundraiser where we had cancer patients, survivors, and supporters share their stories, as well as the parents of the boy and girl who were featured in the Man and Woman of the Year campaign. So we had conversations, and we raised $8,000 in the 24-hour fundraiser, and then a month later we did a 12-hour live stream fundraiser and raised another $2,000. And just recently I helped Amanda Ferrero, whose story is in this book. She's a 2-time acute leukemia survivor. We held a live stream fundraiser recently, and she was able to have a conversation with her stem cell donor who lives in Germany during the live stream fundraiser. And the fundraiser is to raise money so she and her family can travel to Germany to actually meet him in person.
Yeah, that's amazing. I saw that whole thing, and the way people come together. So I'm a good example. Last year, people were helping and giving those that needed a little helping hand to get to Perspectives on Cancer, to the conference last year. And I know a lot of people received support. A lot of people were giving that, and I was the beneficiary of some of that, which was amazing. Thank you. And I know you really spearheaded that. So these movements of helping people do things that are monumental in their life are great. And really, this group, Kim, that you have spearheaded and now becoming a nonprofit is really brought people together so much. What an amazing group that was at the conference last year. Everybody just loving each other, having fun. And it was so great. It was so great to meet so many fun people that I had never met in person. So I mean, it was just awesome.
Yeah, it was so fun. And to be able to meet people in person like Russ Hedge and Emily Harmon and so many other people, and to have that time to spend together, not to just talk about cancer, but we also went on this adventure in Scranton on the way to having dinner, and we saw this mural of the office on the side of a building, and we found the Welcome to Scranton sign. And so yes, it's about cancer, but it's also just like, first, we're all human beings, right? And we had a lot of fun together, and we'll do the same again. The next in-person event is October 5th and 6th in Vermont. And if anybody wants to sign up or find information, they could go to perspectivesoncancer.com.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, I've got a running video of you and Andrea running as we race off to try to find I should have loaded that up this morning.
I wanted to see Russ and Tim do the Electric City rap from The Office. I think that would have been like the culmination. And I know we're going to run time here, So I want to go to Shri, because we mentioned earlier when you first came on that we have learned so much, so many tips about video. Uh, you run classes and challenges. Tell us some of these things so people know how to do these great videos.
So last year I did a lot of, well, I actually started them in 2022. I did a 21-day video challenge. I brought it again back in 2023. This year I haven't really brought it, but I will say that when you run challenges, when you run these workshops, it really gets you to think about what's really important for where this person's at. And for some, the goal is just to get on camera. For some, it is to level up their video styles. It is for some just to find content ideas, because even though you have Chat GPT, but sometimes you're like, is that really what people want to watch? And having just conversations. For some, it's just, I just want to start a conversation with someone. And so when I'm creating these workshops, but I always remember, who am I talking to? And I bring those elements into what I'm teaching them. And the same thing goes with the video challenge, because I have also noticed the first few videos, maybe like the first 7, are like a little bit easier to do. But when we get towards the end of the challenge, that's when you really see some creative videos that come out. Even videos that I was surprised to see from some of the clients that I've worked with, that I'm like, wow, I mean, they blow me away.
Yeah, well, this is what I love about you is you make video simple and doable. And I love that. I've told you before, and really listening to you inspires me. I tell people, if you're having trouble, just stick your phone up and take a selfie video, post it, get over the fear of posting yourself, do something short. Just tell everybody, hey, I hope you're having an amazing day. That's all you got to say. Do something fun, short, just get yourself out there, right? And a lot of times those things, short video is so important nowadays. And I'm just blessed by all that you do, Shri. We're going to start the end. There, we're going to start the end of the show. There you go. That's a contradiction. And Shri, we're going to start with you. Wrap it up and give us your gold nugget of the day and your final comments, and then let everybody know, how do they get in touch with you?
So my golden nugget is, I just want to say thank you to Scott and Russ for being a part of my life, because looking on the journey of life, you meet individuals who truly impact you, teach you things that you never would have thought were so important to learn, which is resilience from both of you, understanding, friendship, just faith, which is really important to lean into, because life throws so many curveballs, and sharing that also in your videos. So you don't have to do every video about your inspirational of what you've learned or who's impacted your life, but you can do one. And so if you would like to learn more about me, you can connect with me here on LinkedIn. I am on all the social media platforms. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, but I'll make it easier. Just connect with me here on LinkedIn.
There you go. Yeah, I'm telling you, you keep it simple. That's so important, to make it easy to get to you, because everybody, you want to go to Shri, you want to have a conversation, you want to let her help you with your video, because she is awesome. And speaking of awesome, my good friend Tim Sohn, wrap her up for us, Tim.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Russ. My golden nugget would be show up show up with a goat, because that adds fun. But when you show up on live video, it can lead to so many other amazing things. Like, it can be a great way to start building your brand, and from there you might end up with a book or an event or clients or members or whatever it is. So whether it's live video, showing up on live video, whether you have some kind of connection to cancer, show up for people who are your friends and family. Yeah, and people can connect with me on LinkedIn. My URL is right down there. It's right down there. Or go to perspectivesoncancer.com. You can find all things Tim Sohn and Perspectives on Cancer over there.
All things Tim Sohn. I love it. I love it. So, I want to give a shout out of video and books to my good friend, Bruce Carnahan, the man in the blue shirt, who just sent me his amazing book. And you know what he did? He worked with somebody to take video clips that he had done and create a book out of it. Just like you're saying, Tim, they actually turned his video clips into a book. And I was blessed to get a copy of that. And, that's what I'm saying. What you guys just said is so important. You can not only repurpose your content, but you can utilize what you have right in front of you to create more content. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just re-listening to a podcast episode with Amanda Tento, the Determined Mom Show. And she was talking about this, where she was inspired to write a book and looked back over her blog posts and the podcast episodes, and she used a script to transcribe them. And then she said, like, I believe, Scott, I have enough content for like 5 or 7 books.
Exactly. Well, and that's one thing that, Scott, you and I have talked about. My good friend D. Scott Smith is helping me with my next book here in the near future. Life Happens and Then You Choose. I'm utilizing my newsletter and writings that I've done that are all the content that I'm going to pull from for this book. And so there's so much good stuff that I put out there, not patting myself on the back, but there's so many things I put out there that I can utilize. Right. And that's just, amazing. So with that, we're going to say goodbye to you two and thank you both for being here today, but hang tight in the green room. We'll be right there. Okay.
Thank you, Russ.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, love that screaming goat. You know what? This makes me smile every time.
I love it. Russ, you had a great comment there about just taking your phone and doing a little selfie video, and coming up at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon on the East Coast, Aspects of Aging, my wife, Christine A. Smith's program on agingbetternetwork.com. That's where she started. She actually had these ideas. She went off on the side of the road into like a little filbert orchard and took her phone and recorded some thoughts. And those were some of the first videos she did. Now I think it's 2 years with Aspects of Aging.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing, Scott, that when you're feeling it, right? When you're feeling inspiration, it's the time to take a video. And I have had so many clients that I've worked with that I have done exactly what I did. I've grabbed my phone because they're telling me, I don't like what I say. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having trouble. And I tell them, just put your phone up, just put it up, do a short selfie video. And I do it for them with them in the video. And I say, here we go. All right, let's do this. Here we are with D. Scott Smith, and I'll say, who is an amazing individual. You got to contact him at dscottsmith.com today. If you want to know more about how to write a book, do it today. And then I will stop and I'll say, I'm going to post that and I'm going to tag both of us.
Absolutely.
And people are going to see that. It's short, it's snappy, and it points to you. And that's all people need to do. And it helps them get better with time, right? It helps them to grow their get away from the fear of video, right? And just really be able to do things. So
make it easy. Make it easy. Just record those first videos that maybe only you and your family and friends are going to see. And then
that's true.
And then one day they're going to escape, just like your book. It didn't get finished. It just escaped.
Well, my beautiful wife sometimes wishes that I would only let the family see the videos I put out. But you know what? Hey, it is so much fun. And, when you show people, just like Shri does, how simple it can be, when you show up, just like Tim does, amazing things happen. Showing up and keeping it simple is an amazing way to do it. So with that, we show up And we try to keep it simple and have fun every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. For your listening and viewing pleasure, we are here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Before this, we are on the Experience Backstage with Shri at 6:30 a.m. on Instagram only every Wednesday. And the Experience Live with Russ and Scott that you're watching then converts to audio podcasts. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all of your favorite podcast platforms. We are there for you. And we would love to encourage you and inspire you to do video or write a book or do something great. So hang in there, everybody. Keep a positive perspective on life. And Scott, I think this wraps us for one more show. What do you think?
It's another show. Russ, I will see you Monday for episode 400 of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
And right after that, episode 4 of the Experience Local. Have an amazing day, everybody. Have an amazing life and enjoy
the experience.
Woohoo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.